Okay, there we go. There we go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, here we go. Okay. Right. Can't hear you. We'll go now. Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2. There we go. Okay. I just got to move my other camera. There's an audio delay coming in, so 1 moment. I'm going to put music on, and we'll go from there, okay? Because I'm logged in on both of them, and then echo. I just message you. I said, okay. Okay. Just for different.
The red's too high.
Yeah, the other counselor, yeah. Right. Chief, we booked it. We had a different place, but I mean, we booked it 4 weeks, like whatever. We're coming to say. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'll send you a link to Kim real quick. So it's like this. Invite, Messenger. There's an echo coming through mine because it's through the same profile. Really change. Okay. Okay. We'll rotate, so all the counselors that are coming that will be present, we'll give them 5 minutes each to speak, and then, well, I guess I could at the same time. I'll explain it to the people. We're live right now on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Can you guys hear me? If so, we're waiting for more candidates to keep coming in, and some more band members. We're gonna do 5 minute speeches, starting with all the council candidates, and then go on from there. If you're seeing this live stream, share it to our Res Facebook pages and whatnot. I'm gonna put the music back on here. We're still setting up a few things, and feel free to ask questions or and comment anything in there. I can see your comments and I'll post them. Okay. Right on, guys. Right on. All right, hey guys. I don't know if you can hear me or see. I think the music's still going. All right. So hey guys. So this is my helper for today, Lawrence. He's going to help me with the tech part of this, while I also do a little bit on the other work with the other camera. And I got Jim behind the camera here for backup.
Hey everybody.
Okay. So everybody's still just grabbing food and eating. We'll start when everybody's kind of settled down here in the next 5-10 minutes. Okay, so stay with us, share the link, and we'll get this thing going here. Okay, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the music. Let's go with dance pop, acoustic, rock, night drive.
Night drive.
Night drive. Okay.
That's a good one too.
Okay, so. To let people see what's going on. All right, guys. Hello, hello. All right, guys. So we got our second camera set up, and we're gonna let everybody finish eating, and we'll continue from there. I'm gonna go back to the logo screen. Go back to the logo screen, and enjoy your music. I'm feeling like some rock. Not drive.
Yeah.
Jim says rock. Okay, you guys can listen to some rock for a little bit. Okay. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Hello.
Hey, Jay-Cee.
What, you need me in there too? Okay, yeah. There we go. Yeah. There you go, yeah. Not yet. Oh, yeah, they're hearing me, okay. All right, so like again, I'll give you guys a tour. We got some our band members coming in, candidates getting ready for the open forum. We're on East Hastings. Some candidates here coming in here, and it's lunch or supper is being served. Let me switch my camera around real quick. So you come in here. Just got some supper for the people when they're coming in. Got our candidates over here. This is how it looks. Okay. All right. And we're gonna get our speakers and chiefs over here to speak once we're ready to start. But there's still people coming in, and we are. Let me switch my camera on again. We are doing 5-minute speeches. If you're just joining in, 5-minute speeches, and then questions and whatnot afterwards. Hopefully those don't take too long. We're already running kind of late, so hopefully we can keep this up quick. Let me see if I can see your comments. Sid, wee boy, hi brother. Oh, there you are. Hear you loud and clear, right on. Good. Awesome. Awesome. So yes, we're in Vancouver. I'm ready. I got my chief outfit on, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Excited to be sharing with you guys. And excited for the other candidates to share their speeches too. So some good things. And it's cool. Vancouver's actually a really beautiful city. Got to meet some good people here. Sat in a good service last night at Potter's Place on East Hastings. So a lot of good things going on. Let me see your comments here. 3 Chiefs are there. Let's see. Myself, Clinton, Clarence. Yes, there's 3 of us so far. My boy Jay-Cee, wonderful person. Let's go. Thanks for the shout out, Sean. Let's go. Yes, sir. Real deal, man. Appreciate it. We got 3 Chiefs currently right here. I think we're waiting. I'm not sure if Shannon's coming or not. And sorry, I got no change on me, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we got 3 Chiefs. I think Shannon might be in town. I'm not sure. Hopefully some more counselors show up. Might need a bigger venue though. It's already filling up pretty quick. Yeah, for sure, my bro. We got to do it. Got to stay live. Be transparent as possible, right? And go from there. Right, I'm gonna head back in and put you guys on the main screen. And then remove that one. Go there. There we go. Yes. All right. So next question: how many counselors? Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Four counselors for sure. That I see right now. There should be more coming. More counselors. Don't do me like that on the big screen. All right, my bro. No, and a huge shout out to my bro Sean. He's from Kizakus, by the way, if y'all didn't know that.
That's good.
Yeah, he's from Kizakus. Met the bro playing basketball, and you can tell he's from the res just the way he acts sometimes. But man, he's got a good heart, and he's been a good bro, and for me, a good close friend, man. He's kept me accountable, and he's pushed me on and off the court. So I definitely huge shout out to Sean. Technology, at least we have transparency at the moment. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Jason sees you. He heard your voice. Hey, Jason.
Mike and Shelly.
Not yet. I haven't seen Mike and Shelly yet.
Angela was on. She says, Angela?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's good, yeah.
Those who cannot come and share you,
Yeah.
praying with that.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of prayer, worries.
Yes. We got Angela is online here. Yes. Are you running for chief counsel? Myself, I am running for chief. The chief. So myself, Clarence, Clinton, and Shannon, and one more chief. But there's only 4 here. Who's the friend? This is Lawrence. He's been a big help on doing AYC trips, Aboriginal Youth Conferences. We've taken a lot of youth to Vancouver to help them with to get out of drugs and alcohol and that scenery. Trying to mentor them and lead them to the light. You know what I'm saying? And show them a better way of living. With the love of God, you know what I'm saying? So he's been one of the youth leaders here. And yes, that's Lawrence. Joe Man, thanks Jay-Cee, it's working fine. Awesome, Joe Man. Let's see, much love, good luck on your journey. Everyone from the area here supports you. Have a good night, Jay-Cee. Appreciate it, Sean. Welcome in, my brother. So we will get to hear everyone speak. Yes, you're going to get to everybody's going to speak 5 minutes each, plus questions. So if you have questions, Lawrence will do his best to put them on the screen, and then get the council to ask it, or the chief. Okay. Billy Foreman, hey Jay-Cee, good to see you. Good luck. Appreciate it, Billy. Thank you. Billy's from Texas.
Oh,
yeah, they were like a
Texas
family from when I went down to Oral Roberts University. They hosted me there. Awesome family. Yes, Lisa. Thank you. What's your plan once you get in? So you want me to start my speech right now? You want to hear my speech right now? You want some teasers? What should we say? What can I give them? Well, definitely, yes. I want to give. Okay, I'll tell you this. I definitely want to give our people hope. I may, appear young, but I have a lot of experience working with in different roles in leadership, but also I feel like God's given us 2 ears for a reason, to listen first and then to speak. And by doing that, I've lived a lot of experiences through my mind, right? And being mentored by leaderships all across North America, you know what I'm saying? With Pastor Deborah and other mentorship programs down in the States at Oral Roberts University. Being connected, I felt has helped me grow into a strong leader. I feel like just mentoring youth this whole time has been a good stepping stone for myself in my life. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to save most of it for the actual speech. I haven't met you and would love That would be nice to hear. Okay, yes. At the end. Sorry, I got called. So I'm going to let Lawrence talk to you or put music on and go from there, okay?
Cool. So we'll just put some music on and we'll live stream what's happening now in the room. Any requests, just put them in the comments.
Yeah.
I had last year in Vancouver, and I think now in Lawrence for that, for showing us around and taking us around and meeting people. And I'm done now. I had my new black book and I was on the things I was going to speak about, but someone told me not to bring it. As Lawrence. But first of all, yeah, I'll speak from the heart because that's how I feel. I had 6 children. I lost 2. I have 26 grandchildren, 2 greats and 2 on the way. So I feel like I'm blessed. And I want to talk on the education because education to me is very important. And I know the struggles the young kids are having out there in university, trying to go to university, and it's hard for them. It's hard for them to try and make a living on the what little living allowance they get. So I feel maybe we could take some of the PHL money and up their living allowance. And for the little children and the youth, there's nothing on the reserve for them, nothing happening. It's the same old thing, there's gaming and nothing there. I mean, we suffer on the reserve just like you guys do. There's our water, we run out of water for days. We have to bath in brown water, and that shouldn't be. I mean, we should have had our water upgraded a long time ago. Education, yes, is very, very dear to my heart because you even need a grade 12 today to be a janitor, and that's tough. So I want to encourage all the young people out there as much as I can to go. And when I see young kids graduating on Facebook and stuff, I always tell them, congrats, reach for the stars, sky's the limit, and it is. And that's where my heart is, in the education with the children. Next one was, I guess, communication with the members. You know, how often do we get to come and meet with the members out here? Not very often. Maybe once every year to deliver bonus checks. But I mean, we got to come out and communicate with the people more. Give them updates, where we're at, what's going on, everything like that. Land claims, where we're at the office, so much. Like, we don't even know back home what's going on. And that's hard. Because, you know, people ask, and well, it's just hearsay. You can't go by hearsay. You got to actually see what is there. And if we make it, we make it. Like I said, I'm only here for 5 minutes, so I'm going to try and make this fast. Communication, education, and infrastructure is where I'm at, and the youth and the little children. That's really where my heart is. What else can I say? I love you all, and thank you for your time. And you know, I hope to see you more often like this. I know Lauren's been asking me to come to Vancouver, and I finally made it after 5 years, but I'm going to make an effort to come back. So just thank you for your time, and you know, I love all of you. I think I have most of you on Facebook. Keep in touch. You know, I'm here just a click away. Thank you so much for your time.
Does anybody have any questions for Esther? Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Tim?
Hi everybody, I am Kimberly Cashane, and many of you guys may know me. I'm a young mother of 7 beautiful children. I miss them so much right now. Getting lonely. But I come out here to seek support for my council position. I'm running for council for the reserve. I've had a fantastic few days, and it's been lovely, beautiful out here. And yes, I would like to come back. My plans that I have that I want to do for the reserve, I want to implement help with the people that are urban members that live out here, to help us with help with rent, bus passes, or activities for their children because they have that's expensive for them too. I was talking with Mal, and she said she'd like to get her daughter involved and stuff like that. You know, if we could help them, top them up with something like that, that would be really great. As well as for our on-reserve members too, for our welfare clients, transportation's a big issue, you know, and the education program, bring in trades and skills to the reserve, help the people off reserve, help them fund them for their trades and skills programs as well. With our health program too, like the dollars we vote on every year, where does it go? We don't see it, you know, we don't know what's going on. I'd like to bring that all out forward, you know, communication, like Esther said, let everybody know what's going on in the office, you know, because they deserve to know. Another thing is the youth and education. That's my main goal, my main priority for all the people on reserve, you know, off reserve, on reserve. To bring in more programming, more help for them, you know, and there's a lot of mental health issues and stuff going on reserve. There's no supports in those areas, and that's where I think we need to focus to bring our people back, you know, because they're lost and whatever. We need to help them get out of there. What else is there? Our infrastructure, the buildings on reserve too, have been there the same way for the last 30 years. Nothing's been done to them. Nothing's going on with them, you know. It would be nice to bring in a center for the youth, for the children, for the elders even, come play cards or do something, you know, a gaming system, gaming room for the kids to come play games, come hang out with all their other fellow band members and stuff like that. Get urban offices set up for our urban members, our urban people there to support them, you know, where they can go for support. Stuff like that, get a lot of things going, rolling. I have a lot of good ideas I want to bring forward. If I do get elected, and when I do, those are my main plans, all my priorities, okay?
Anybody have any questions for Kim?
No.
Where to go? Bring her up.
Everybody, my name is Jay-Cee. I currently right now am on political leave. I am employed with the York and Travel Council. I work in the Justice Department and I'm the Justice Coordinator. I work with the 6 First Nations. So I come forward with a lot of knowledge about who we are as Anishinaabe people. You know, I think a lot of times we have this mentality of this reserve life and this reserve, you know, because of the way that the colonizers have oppressed us over the years and the history of who we are. When in all actuality, the Key First Nation is unique in a sense where we are a nation. We have our own culture, our own identity, and our own language. And I want to thank you, Mikey, for our prayers because we don't have very much people left who can speak the language, and I want to acknowledge that so many ways. That being said, I believe in bringing it back on us, you know, the issues that we have with knowledge and training and education. You know, we can bring this back on us and create our own governance, our own laws, or we have an inherent right to govern ourselves. And that's what I mean when we are unique. We have inherent rights as treaty Indians, you know what I mean? And I don't like even using the word Indians. So that being said, you know, when it comes to governance and our own laws, you know, using our elders for councils, holding people accountable and that are out of balance, who are needing maybe it's mental or emotional or spiritual work in their life, you know, holistic healing. You look at our health programs, you know, how can we look at our existing programs and make them better and more designed to actually help people and meet them where they're at when it comes to substance use or as Kim said, mental health issues. When you're strong as a nation, there is no such thing as on and off reserve. You know, there's things that are there to say if Mel needs to go and want to take her children to the city of Vancouver or the city of Saskatoon, you know, we're partnering, we're building relationships with other nations so that our band members can utilize their facilities. So that no matter where you are in this country, you as a key First Nation band member are enacting and acting on our inherent rights as a Treaty 4 key band. And sometimes, you know, we were so caught up in these little small fights that's what the colonizers want. This is, you know, we don't realize the big picture here. And it's no fault of anybody's. It's not. It's just the way the history of how, you know, we have a lot of people who are hurting from, you know, sexual, physical abuse, you know, the history of residential schools, the substance use in our communities. And, you know, we need a holistic healing approach to meet them where they're at. You know, you look at our unreserved, we have had how many fires in the last year? Who do we call when we have an emergency? You know, who do we call when, you know, we need water? Who do we call when someone's ODing? We don't have our own way of governing ourselves as who we are as a nation. And that's where I sit with my, you know, wanting to be elected as a headman in my community. And I would be a strong voice. Anybody who knows me, and I've worked with the Tribal Council and the Justice for 7 years, and I always stand up and I speak, and I always advocate, and I'm a doer. I don't like to sit around and talk. I'm a doer, and I will always get the job done. And everybody knows me, knows that I'm that strong matriarch in my family. I'm the oldest of 7 children. 6 children. I have 6 brothers. I have 7 children and 8 grandchildren. So I come with a strong, clean, and I'm sober and I'm balanced. And that's what I like to see for everybody. And I encourage you all to vote for Shan Pepakwash and vote for integrity. And let's move forward. We need to move forward. We need to do something for our grandkids. You know, we got to build something up, let it grow, and move on. Not suck it dry. That's not what leaders aren't there to suck things dry. We're there to grow and flourish it and let it grow and move on, so that when I leave this earth, that my grandchildren, I know, are going to be left in good hands. So with that, me good.
Anybody got a question for Shannon?
How long have you been at Hastings?
I've been with them for 7 years. Yeah, I started out as an alternative measures caseworker, and then 3 years ago I was the justice coordinator, and I worked with a 6-member First Nation. So that's Kakawishahal, Zagame Anishinaabe, Ocean Man, Kizapius, Poli, and Key. So I soaked up so much knowledge from such strong people, strong chiefs, strong councilmen. So yeah, I've grown and I've learned a lot, and I have a lot to bring to the table. Yeah.
I'll go last. It's my
No,
home turf.
when you're called, you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go and call.
Well, I'm really grateful to be invited to speak here tonight. It's really good to see all of my own people on this beautiful territory here tonight. And before I begin, I just want to acknowledge how grateful I am to be here on the unceded traditional territories of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nation. I've been very lucky to call this place home for the last 10 going on 11 years now. And I love this place. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see so many people from home here. As I've been saying to everyone, it's nice to see you on my side of the mountains. But you know, I've been really grateful for this experience of this campaign. I've been on the trail since March 16th, and I've been able to meet so many members of our community spread across Western Canada. And there are many more members I know that live far away from our territory. And I know for me, I grew up not inside my community. And I can tell you how lonesome I am for my people. You know, it's been so enriching to be able to see the beauty and the light and the love that we have as a people and as a community. I know that in politics, it can often be seen as us versus them. But what really inspires me is that I think everyone here wants to see change in our community. And that's really important. That's really beautiful. I really believe that change is coming to the Key First Nation, that we're no longer going to be left behind. Because the sad reality is we live in a world that will leave us behind. If we don't learn to work together, if we don't learn to support one another, and get behind initiatives that benefit our whole community, the world will leave us behind. And now is that time. There is so much opportunity for our nations and our communities, not only on the Key, but across this whole country, across Turtle Island, North America. We are so lucky and so blessed to come from one of the most resource-rich parts of the world. And there's no reason why our people should suffer. There's no reason that our people should live in poverty and struggle. Because our community, if we can work together as a people, there's no end to what we can achieve if we can work together. And what I'm really inspired about in this campaign and as I've been meeting people is just the appetite for change. People are ready to see something move forward in our community. It's so good. I'm one of the youngest running in this race. I'm running for council and I'm asking for your support. But it's so incredible to see not only our young members, but our elders as well running in this campaign. People who have a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom. It's really inspiring. And I'm really excited about the change that is coming to our community because I really do believe it's time for our nation and our community to move forward. And we can only do that if we're working together. And no matter what happens in this campaign, who gets elected, if I'm lucky enough to be elected to council, I'm ready to go to work. But if I'm not elected, I'm ready to support whoever is. Because coming out of this campaign, we're all the same people, we're all relatives one way or the other, and we all come from one beautiful nation. And we're really lucky to come from that nation. I've been so lucky. I've been so lucky to meet so many members from across this beautiful country. And I know there's many of my relatives, some in the Yukon, some in the United States, those who aren't able to be here with us tonight, but I feel that love, I feel that connection amongst our people, and it's really exciting. And as for our plans, I am running with the team, I'm running with the slate. We have a 24-point policy plan. You can see it on my Facebook, it's up on the band's Facebooks. You're more than welcome to get in touch with me after this event if you'd like to see it. The platform is not perfect. It doesn't cover every single thing that needs to happen for our community, but there's a plan there. Education, infrastructure, economic development. These are the things that are going to move our community forward. And it's so important, we talk about the need for more programmings for urban members, as well as members who live within our community. And the only way that I see us being able to do that is if we're generating our own revenues. It is so important that we focus on economic development, not only as a council, but as a nation, because we can only get there if we can create our own resources. Because we all know that Canada controls our money. They tell us how we can spend it, how much we can spend, and we're just living off the table scraps. It's time for us to get our own piece of the action and decide our own future. And as for the other candidates, what I've heard tonight, I agree with everything that's been said. We're a beautiful Anishinaabe nation, and it's time for us to live in those inherent rights, to use them. So with that, I say Chimi Gwich, Toya Sutnu, and it's really grateful. I'm really grateful to be here to see all you beautiful people, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful city, those of you that have come to visit us here, and have a safe journey home.
So you live in BC. So if you are elected for council, what is your plan of action in this Key First Nation area?
Absolutely, Key First Nation will always be my first priority. In terms of housing on reserve, I want to be extraordinarily careful. We have a lot of members that have been waiting a long time to get a home in the community. I'm happy to wait my turn, but I want to return home. It's so important to be in the community, to be available for people. But I'll say this much as well. We have a lot of members who live in urban centers, and it's important that we have urban representation at the table, that we have councillors that are thinking about the people who don't live within the community. We have 1,550 band members on our band list, and only 200 live in the community. And while it's important that we increase infrastructure in our community, we provide more education programming, we provide more programming for substance misuse, all those things are very important, but we also have to think about our members who don't live on the community as well. So I think for me personally, I really want to strike a balance, and I'll say this much as well. I have my own private business practice here in Vancouver. I spend a lot of time on the road, and I know that if you want to get work done, if you want to get projects developed, it means traveling. You have to go and see people. If you want to make money in Canada, in business, you go where the money is. And the money in this country is in Vancouver and it's in Toronto. And so I do know that, if I'm elected to council, I will be traveling a lot in order to bring in those economic development opportunities, for working with investors, whether they're institutional or private investors. But absolutely, the key First Nation is my priority. Is that it? I want a question? Okay, great.
I just want to remind people, if you could turn your cell phones off, it's disturbing to the people that are talking. Thank you. Or put them on silent. Sid. Want to call him in?
Sydney.
No, let him know there's one opportunity. We're running on a.
Maybe. You?
Sorry, guys. I thought I was going to go last and let all the other ones talk. But my name is Sidney Kishane. I was a councillor before a few terms. And yes, I heard them talking about the water situation on the reserve. We did have it set up in the past, but when we got taken out early, I don't know why. It wasn't, the company didn't come in and finish it, but everything was all done there. And it was a reverse osmosis system. So they would have had, really good water to drink. It was a brand new water plant. And also it had high pressure water lines that were all going to go in. So it was all there. And then also we had lights for the ball diamonds. I'm not sure they're not up there now. I'm not too sure where lights went and all that, but that was all done, and that was all done through a grant and the other stuff that was all, we had a lot of things that were on the go, but we never did get to finish it. There was we have land that was bought in Yorkton, just over 10 acres, and it's a good place to try and invest to make some kind of money for the band. So we have income coming in to help out the band members and all that, and we had it set up there with another company that was from New York. They were going to come in, and it was going to cost us just over $35 million to build up different houses, and there was also going to be what is that called there when that when they go on the dialysis machine, we had it all set up there. We were going to get that. That was going to be all set up there. Everything was going to be all set up there. Everything was just all there. All we were waiting for was the banking to fall into place. But the thing was, there was a finance manager that was out there, Raj, and he really messed up with a lot of the finances, and he messed up where our audit was late. And I believe he just did that on purpose. And at the time, I tried to get the other leaders to get rid of him before that, the year before that. And we would have had all those finances, everything would have been ordered. We would have had that land going in Yorkton. There was 10 acres, and that company was going to throw in $35 million to get it up and going. There would have been apartments, different kind of other housing all out there. It was all on the go. Everything was just right there. And I think it was only maybe about, I think 2 weeks or not even 2 weeks later, that's when everything came in from the banks, the whole work. We even brought in, I don't know how many different million from INAC to come in and help out with that 10 acres in Yorkton. There's a lot of different things that we started there that could have been finished. You know, we had that. Can you imagine, you know, the new water plant on Keys, reverse osmosis and high pressure water line, that would have been all set up out there. But it didn't go through. I'm not sure why the previous chiefing council didn't accept it. But the company is there, and I believe one of the bands down south ended up capitalizing on it. I think Cactuishell got it, and they got that company to come in and put in new water lines and a new water plant, and you know, but the Keys missed out on that again. We would have had that for the band. You know, I wish they would have had it, because talking about, you know, the other band members saying having to bath in brown water and all that. And that water plant is still in the same position. I worked as a water plant operator probably maybe about 15, 16 years ago. And it still looks the same. You know, everything out there is still looking the same. And we had a lot of things going that would have been finished if we had the opportunity to finish it and stay in it. But you know, if you give me another chance, you know, I'm willing to keep going, you know, working on all these stuff and keep back, you know, up and going, that we have something out there, you know, that we have something to look forward. And a lot of times, you know, I took around a ball team, you know, had the kids. We always wanted the kids to go to different sports and tournaments. And, you know, and then we also took a ball team around where, you know, we actually won quite a bit of different trophies and all that other stuff in tournaments. You know, and I thought it was good that we kept, you know, the young men and the other ones off the drugs, away from the alcohol, and going around to play sports. You know, now there's no team out there. Now there's no sports out there. But yet we have brand new diamonds that sit out there empty. You know, but recently I know that Dusty, my nephew, was having some tournaments out there and having ball games and all that, which looks good. You know, I remember long ago when I was a teenager, I think I was 14, 15, you know, everybody was out there, you know, playing ball. I remember Isabel, Robert, Goss, all of them, the whole works, everybody would go back there. Even, you know, her mom, you know, Pearl was out there playing, and all the kids would go back there. And right after school, we'd all go back there. People would bring hot dogs, and we'll have a little barbecue out there, and then have a game of ball out there, which was always fun. It always kept the kids busy and all. But how long do we have here? But you know, I just you know, glad to be back in Vancouver. I think it took me just over 4 years. I think while I was out there, I worked on the pipeline for 2.5 years as an Aboriginal monitor, and it was really, you know, a good job working with them. We sat in the big meetings with the big bosses and the inspectors, and at the end of it, my job was basically I'd write reports, take pictures, and make sure all the companies did their job right, didn't wreck any of their First Nations interests, their lands, or anything like that, and made sure they done their job right. And if they didn't do it right, we were able to shut them down and all that. But I'm glad they did their job right. And even Jay-Cee was out there, you know, working out there for a while too and all that. But, and also I worked at Kizigoose Family Treatment Center. I worked there for about a year, and I left that when they shut down for a while. And now just recently I've been working for the past 4 months at Fish and Lake Healing Lodge. It's based on adults helping them to come off the drugs, and it's land-based training, which is really good because we take them out to go hunting ducks. I took them out, show them how to hunt, shoot the ducks, pluck them, clean them, and cook them. I didn't cook them, but the other ladies cooked them and made some brand. But it was you know, awesome to teach them all that, because I really like hunting. I do a lot of hunting back home, and that's it. But I just ask you guys to put an X beside my name, and Sidney Kashane. And also the other guy I'm running with, Shannon Bass, he tried to make it today, but because he had the flu, or something, the airport wouldn't allow him to jump on the plane. So he had to stay in Edmonton, and so he just sends his regards and their best to everybody, and just safe travel for the rest of the people, and God bless you.
Anybody got questions for Sid?
There's one online. Online question is, what would you do for Keith's future? I don't know if he's coming.
For what?
For Keith's future.
I just, I'm like, what I do is I keep working on the same stuff we were working on before, and try to keep starting all this up again, and try to get some kind of, money coming in, income coming in for the family. And also, I look at it, farming, the local farmers could, get rich out of farming land. Why can't we, we could go back and farm in our land, teach our young guys to go through all that. And that's one of the main things that I see out there is our land. That's only our country where we have to work our land is, farming. And we should start farming it now. We wanted to do that back then, but we never got the chance to do it again. Anything else?
Ricky.
Hello everybody, my name is Rick Payne. I go by Richard or everybody. It's good to see everybody here today. All the members of Key First Nation. I myself am running for council. I left reserve a long time ago when I was 16 years old. I always come back for visits to my home community. I know at one time in my life, my dad himself, he was a counselor for 20-some years. I myself, I'd like to come back and kind of follow his footsteps, but I'm a little bit up to getting up to their names myself. But, I worked most of my life construction. I have 23 years sobriety.
Oh.
And I'm involved in traditional ways back home all the time. I'm always attending these ceremonies. Most of the time, that's where I always am. Taking part of it, which I'm happy for myself when I do it. It helps me a lot. I just plan on running for council just to give a helping hand if I can. I have a good mind. I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm a good planner. I like to get involved with people. Get along with everybody. No matter who it is, I always get along with everybody. Wherever I work, wherever I get along with everyone I work with. I'm an easy person to get along with. But most of the things that I was gonna say here today, they were already said. Like education and things for kids on reserve, for kids to participate in the reserve. That's one of the things, because you gotta create a path for the younger future that comes behind us. It's really good. Those are some of the things that people that are in leadership now, they gotta make a road for the young ones behind us. But about, you said this about all after today. I just asked for support. My first time running as a youngster. Well, I ran out like 4 years ago, but I wasn't successful. I'm kind of hoping that this time around I might be. I live in Fort Health, Wisconsin. I own my own home. I try to do the best for myself. When I was when I worked on my work in construction, I'm happy for myself, and I know anybody else can do it. If I did it, anybody else can. But that's really all what I have to say. I want to thank everybody and safe travels for everybody. Back to their communities. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Anybody got any questions for Rick?
I have a question. Where do you live?
Let's just step that thing.
Okay, we'll call Gilda.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gilda Bicucci, or Gilda Crane, from the Key First Nation. I am currently in council, but running for another term. My platform, I guess, is education. I want the master's program to be able to be funded. I like to say that I walk the talk. I have 2 degrees and 5 diplomas that I have paid for myself. I was a Bill 31, so Key Reserve wasn't able to fund me. However, I do have 3 children. My son has been a lawyer for 25 years. He works here in Vancouver. He also has his master's. He paid for his own master's degree because Key Reserve couldn't fund him. I have 2 daughters that are both registered nurses. One works in northern Manitoba as she works for Health Canada. They fly her different reserves. However, Ludwig is her main post. The youngest daughter of mine works in Thunder Bay at the hospital. She's been there for 15 years. She's also an RN. I also have 3 grandchildren. My granddaughter is going to medical school this fall, funded by the Douglas First Nation. My 2 grandsons, one will be a millwright at the end of this August, and the other one's going to be a pilot. So I think I've done well in my role as a mother, encouraging them. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I've sat on the school board also for the last 6 years. It's not an easy position. When I sat on different provincial boards, one being the child welfare, one being the child custody review board, where we make our own decisions. We write up the reports. We do our own investigations. However, at the school board, every child is equal, so I can't just take up for the Key First Nation or talk on their behalf, because I have to look at the other children, and I guess they're all in one, but place them all in one situation, I guess, or one pot, which I don't think is very fair, because a lot of our children go through crisis. They go through learning experiences I'd like to be able to speak on, but I can't. So this is my last kick at the board. Anyhow, I just like to thank each and every one of you for listening to me and give me another opportunity to implement the master's program. The master's program is what we needed, and more encouragement for our kids. You know what? One thing I really found interesting though is that when I first came out of the reserve, we had a lot of dropouts. We had a lot of dropout students, and they didn't drop out the right way by going to the registrar's office and taking a leave. They just left. So they lost tuition, and of course they lost their spot on the for another term to be funded. We don't have that this time around. There was 2 dropouts this past term, and it was due to illness or And that was, and they took a leave of absence the correct way by going to the registers and the drawing. Right. We also have more students applying for funding that we can't afford to fund. However, we have 20 spots, 25 spots. We've got an extra 10, but those spots are going to be filled. So we really need more dollars, I guess, to be able to fund more of our children. And also, we do, like I said, we don't have funding for the master's program, and I want that funding. I really do. Anyways, if any questions. Also, I have another question. We haven't got the dollars to fund like programs for example, one of our members wants to go into the ministry for a 10-month or a year. We don't have those dollars, but we've been kind of working on them. Those dollars are going to have to be taken out of the job. When people vote for money, we're going to have to put money aside for those kind of programs. Also for trades and skills, we don't have that. So, any questions? Yes.
So right now, how many people are funded through education?
25.
25?
Yes.
Is that new or is that ongoing?
That's what we funded, but we've got 10 extra spots for this one.
Because I'm hearing a lot of young people that apply to the band, and they're never responded to. Like I ran into two young adults today. They applied 3 times, and right out of high school. And high school students were supposed to be a priority.
Yeah.
They were supposed to bump people out of their existing programs. And I don't think that's really happening, eh?
No, well, okay, what happened was when I first got into council, administration was my portfolio, and along comes this other council who had education, but the students weren't getting the answers they needed, so I really don't know about that one, but I know graduating students are number 1 on the list to be funded. I do, and I know the education system inside out. Yes.
So I know in regards to any education, housing, or any department, right now, is there an education committee that is neutral aside from chief and council that decides on who gets funded?
No, there was one at one time, but it hasn't been for a long time. And
because isn't the policy, isn't there supposed to be a committee?
There is supposed to be one.
That consists of members
Right.
that are neutral? So how come there hasn't been one for a while?
I don't know why that was. However, I know there was supposed to be, like I said, I only took over this portfolio after about, I guess, when Chris left. When Chris walked out, he wanted the education or he wanted the administration portfolio. So if that comes into place, I will make sure that happens. There's a lot of things that aren't happening.
It just seems you guys, the harshness of like that's our own way of doing it, and that's how it should be done, like a neutral.
Exactly.
Of our own people inside of
I have a
it.
question also. So when Marcella Nelson passed away, why did we have elections till that?
Indian Affairs didn't, we asked about that, but they said it wasn't necessary, so they made 4 used to be in the farm, and after her passing, they put it out to 3.
So would you be interested in an election after?
I would love to have our own election. They was started when Isabel was here years ago.
So when you say the farmers dropped down to 3,
Yes.
What is the farm?
The form
Yeah.
for voting and for making decisions.
No. What is the 3 farmers? Is it chief and 2 councilors?
2 councilors, yes.
3
Yes, 2. But it's once after this election when it's going back to the 4.
Excuse me, I have a question. We're just discussing the downsizing of the court. I just heard you say Indian Affairs did that.
Well, we called them for clarification.
Okay. I believe that is it's just a quick comment. It's misleading.
Okay. Well, we did call them because they have to make a decision and they have to make the decision whether it's 3 or what the form is going to be. I know you were calling them to find out, but it's 3. Pardon? Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you.
Daryl.
Jerry. Your phone.
Daryl.
Daryl.
You forgot your glass.
Well, first off, I just want to say good evening to everybody. And I just want to say that I'm seeking re-election. I guess I'm the veteran of the council. I sat there for many years. And I want to say this, it's been like being elected First Nations leaders, not the easiest job in the world. Because number one, you're making decisions based on there's never enough funding. People get frustrated when they do get, like if you can't help them. But over the years, I've always tried to find ways to try and. I'd have to say that's one of my biggest accomplishments. People ask me, I've always believed in leadership. The people should always come first. The people should always come first. That's why you're put there. Look after the people, to watch the people, and make sure that the people get the things that they do need. I know a lot of times the needs are lots, and everything's based on budget. First thing you got to do is you got to look at your budgets. Like there's a question asked here about council. Most of the time, I just go around, most council get $15,000 a year for travel for budget. And the chief gets 20. The chief gets extra because he's got AFM, he's got different other kinds of meetings that he has to attend. But most times, and I think there's a website you can go on. Indian Affairs has a website there to show how much money we make for our meetings and for getting paid as leaders. For me, I've always wanted to see change on the reserve. You know, but sometimes when it comes to change, the people have to be willing to change too. So many times the way that I see it, like for me, I've been sober for pretty close to 40-something years. Yeah. I got 5 boys. I got actually 6 boys. 5 with the mate I'm with now. They've all finished school. So I've always supported. I'm a strong supporter of education. But I want to talk about change. Back when I was drinking and I was a very violent individual, like I wasn't a good person. Very ugly person. But there's no one that could change me, no matter how many people told me, hey, you got a problem, you got a problem, you got a problem. You need to change, you need to change. Well, I decided to sober up in my life and begin to change how I looked at life. And I've been through a lot in my life. I've been sexually abused. I've been physically abused. I've seen a lot of things in my young years growing up. And it took me a long time to understand that. Even today, yet I struggle. Big time. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, when I first got involved with actually, I'm originally Cody band member, but I transferred to Keith. And I left Cody Reserve because I wanted to get away from the political. I wanted out of the politics. So when Lake Campbell Papcosh was running for chief, they invited me to a meeting, so I went. And I was walking away from but it was Lake Matilda Brass that asked me to support Campbell. Because Campbell needed, but Campbell's, his vision was, because a leader has to have a vision. You have to envision how your people are gonna, and how you're gonna look after your people. You gotta have a vision. And Campbell had a vision. But the one thing he always said was, there's only two things that we got here, Daryl. The people and the land. The land is okay, he said. It's the people. It's trying to get the people to pull together and try and work together. He said that's going to be the hardest job because change, he said change is not easy. There's a lot of pain in change. And I realized that in my own life and my own experiences in life. It was very hard for me to deal with a lot of my issues that had happened to me in my life. Especially the sexual abuse was the hardest one. But today, I ain't afraid to talk about my own personal life. And the most important thing is, I had to find something to believe in, something to follow. Because there was times I didn't believe there was a God. Because I thought he didn't care. But I come along, and lo and behold, I changed my life. And I know I'll never be perfect. I never will be. I can try and I can try and I try. I'll never be perfect. The only time that I'll be perfect is when I go into the spirit world. When I pass on into this, that's when I'll be perfect. Because now I won't commit no more wrong or do any wrong to anybody on this earth. And I'll go on my journey. And through the years, I remember when I first got in a T band. I tell you, the band was in rough shape. We barely had any money to function. And that was one of the things that I told myself back then, when that if I ever, that the most important thing is that for the band is that we manage our money right. That's one of the key components that I've seen over the years, is learning how to manage the money. I could sit here and stand here and say, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'm going to do that. But when you go in there and you have to start making decisions, and let me tell you something. I've got messages on my phone, people mad, angry. Well, sometimes I just can't help it because the money's not there. And yeah, I believe in the band having successful businesses. But again, to any kind of business, anything that you do, it boils down to management. Just like even in your own personal life, you got to manage your life right. And it takes leaders to sit at that table to make those decisions. Somebody has to do it. Like it's an awful job. And I've been doing it for 20-something years of my life. My body's wore out. Like back in the day, my field was, before I got into the political arena, I was a drug and alcohol worker. I loved helping people. I loved changing people's lives or trying to give them something to live for. Something worth it. You know, because I have children. You know, I was very abusive to my children. My two oldest boys, I still see it in them today, the wrong that I've done to them. But I'll say this, you know, over the years, to me, the way that I've always looked at it, my people have always come first. Always. Because that's the most important thing, is our people. That's why they put us there. They put us there to do a job. And that job is to, you know, to be able to look after them, to help them. Because I come out here a lot of times in all these, like over the years in the cities, I remember I walked into this one place, God, I couldn't believe how that house looked. You know, some landlords, you know, I just felt so hurt for them. But I'll say this, I've always been there for my people, and I always will be. Whether I'm a leader or not, like whether I get elected or not, I've got my experience to offer to the people, to the young people. And yeah, maybe it is time the young people take over, you know? But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of things that are coming down the pipe for our band. Number one, we got land claims coming in. Those are very important issues when it comes to our land claims, because that's a lot of money you're talking about. And that money has to be managed right. It has to be looked after right. Sure, we could stand here all day and say, oh, we got money. But what good is money if it's not managed right and all of a sudden the people don't get nothing out of it? What's coming to them? We talk about education. I'm a strong believer in education. Post-secondary education. We have to give raises to the single ones. We concentrated on the single ones. Why? Because we thought the ones that are families and are getting funded to get family allowance on the 20th of every month. See, this is what I'm talking about, making decisions. And the single ones, well, they don't have no family allowance. We have to find some way, somehow to, I think we cut 4 or 5 students in order to fund those, to give the single what they. So that's what I'm saying. The money is there, but sometimes those decisions have to be made. It's not that you want to do those things, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes as a leader, decisions are hard to make, but they have to be made. And a lot of times you're going to piss people off. Now, going back to the land claims, we got the 1909 surrender. The government changed their policy on land claims. I sat on the first land claims with the band. The Pele Haylands was a 3-band land claim. Cody, Keys Goose, and Key. When I look at it, Key got the best. I always thought it should have been split equal, but when I look at Key, we got the best out of that. We ended up getting being a smaller band. The other thing is, a lot of people talk about, like we still got our money sitting in the bank. All the money that we got, but every year we've been able to give a Christmas bonus to our people. See, to me, that's good managing. We still got our money. Those other bands don't have their money. And we have to put rules and regulations in place that the people would have to say in the end to how that money was going to be spent. We just don't go there and chief and council get together and turn around and say, oh, we're going to take $5 million and spend it the way we want to spend it. It's the people that decide how that money is spent. Everybody put something together, like one of the things there, like the band needed a grader. We asked for $100,000 out of that Pele Haylands. The people voted on that. We have a grader today. But let's get this straight. When we talk about this grader, that grader doesn't belong to me. It belongs to every single, whether you live on the reserve or off the reserve or not. Those assets belong to the band. Please can get some water. Give me water. Okay, we got the 1909 surrender that's coming in. And the government's been telling us, well, the most we can get is 150 million, but they're saying, I remember the lawyer saying, I think it was 144 million, and the lease was probably $90 million. So that is a lot of money. But that money has to be properly, how can I put it? Just like the Pele Haylands Trust, we need to put a good trust together. But with that amount of money, like what I'm saying is, there has to be different, like I know a lot of people, and I know one of the things sometimes I wish that we could do with the Pele Haylands is be able to borrow on it so we can get into other businesses, different kinds of ventures, to try and generate more revenue for our band. Like we talked about education, and the other one that my portfolio is health. Health has been a major concern for me with the people because in a lot of ways in health, there's a lot of things that our people are not covered for. For instance, one of the things I think is a good thing is we've been giving electric scooters to our people that are in need of those things. Because if they go to Indian Affairs, they're not going to give us things like that. Those are things that we have to try and fund ourselves. There are things that the big thing that's coming up now is Hey, interrupt, okay? I have some respect. Yeah. You know, and you know, see, that's what I mean. You guys, now you wanted us here to speak. Now you're telling us only 5 minutes. Good. I have a lot more to say.
We just got a message that the people on the far side of the wall can't hear some of the speakers that are. So if you can raise your voice a bit, and I appreciate the passion people have spoken. The candidates that have.
Questions? Anybody have questions? I want to answer questions.
Anybody got a question for Daryl?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. So that brings us to a conclusion with for the people that are running for council, and I wish you all the best of luck. He doesn't. He refused to put his name. He does want to talk. So now we're going to move on to the chiefs, and this is the order it's going to go. We're going to go with Jay-Cee, then we're going to go with Clinton, then we're going to go with the current chief. Jay-Cee?
Apologize, Earl. Just that we have established a 5-minute time for the people online as well. I did it in love. I didn't mean to disrupt you. Okay. Like I love you still. All right. And thank you everybody for showing up. We're down to the chief speeches. Super exciting. One of the biggest things is if we always do what we've always done, we will always be where we've always been. You know, I'm glad to, and I'm honored to be standing in front of you and among our older leadership. And growing up as a young man, I'm 30 now, but growing up as a young man in our community in Keith, you know, I've seen our people fighting and whatnot, but I've studied and I learned from their mistakes, and I've learned that we have to work together. We can't get mad at one another. We can't fight each other no more, right? We have to have a vision for our future and for our youth, you know. And saying that, it's sad because I'm 30 years old and I've had to bury the youth I've grown up with due to drugs. And it's taken our community, and I've received the text that we have 2 overdoses in the past 2 days. 2 overdoses in our community due to drugs. As a chief going forward, I want to break that cycle for our people at home. I live a drug and alcohol-free life my whole life. I know it's tough. People will try peer pressure me, but you have to have the willingness to say no. And there's empowerment to saying yes at the right time to helping people and not giving into temptations and because that would go a long way. There's a lot of people here, and I'm so thankful. And I have a lot of awesome support from AYC here. It's an Aboriginal Youth Conference that I'm delighted and honored to take our youth from the surrounding communities to a youth conference to help build them up in leadership and empower our young people. But unfortunately, our key band membership is the least presented in these youth conferences. Going forward, I envision our young people being funded to go forth and get these experiences of leadership from other mentors across the nation. I am who I am today because I traveled the nations, and I've had many mentors across Canada, both in all the way from South Texas, which Billy's probably watching, all the way to Nunavut. All these mentors mentoring me. I know I may be young, but I went to Tulsa. I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, at Oral Roberts University. Initially, I envisioned, I love God, and I thought I was like wanted to be in evangelism and take evangelism. When I was praying, I was seeking God. I said, "What do I want to take?" Because growing up on the reserve, all I knew was the reserve. All I knew that chief and council. All I knew that there was police officers. That's all I knew. But going forward, the cameras. Rich chief and council, teachers, and police officers. And speaking of police officers, I decided to take government and practical politics. And I had Leona ever since I turned 18. She's, "You should run for chief. You should run for chief." And I felt like I needed more life experience before doing that. And then the next election came. You should run for council. You should run for council. And I didn't even decide at like age 20 or 22 not to do that. It was my first time trying to run was at 26. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll run for council and hopefully make an impact. And it didn't happen. A whole slate got in, and at that time I was our community navigator, working on communications for our people, and from there, I went into the mentorship program, helping other First Nations develop their community plan. And I need a little bit of water here. Develop their community plan. And helping develop their community plan and engaging their leadership to utilize technology to reach other band members and not just doing the same thing the same way. It's not only just utilizing what you have here, but also utilizing your people out here and utilizing what's in today's world technology. And technology is moving so fast. You have to be able to adapt at times to connect and get your message across to be transparent. And I got to pull up my notes for this one. Okay, so all the money. Okay, so this is interesting. So I could give you all the money, and I can get all of the funding, and I can get it to our people, and give you all our people all the money and the funding. But and try to bring you out of poverty. But the reality is, we'll still be poor. We'll still be poor. So with all the money in the world and trying to address every situation, if I just chase money, it's not going to address the real issues in our community. The real issue lies deeper than just money and trying to put money to over a Band-Aid, like a Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So we have to seek further and provide more the resources, but also as a leader, you have to be there for our people, especially our young people going. We have to be there for their graduations. We have to be there to send them off, to even mentor them. Going forward as a chief, I envision a youth chief and council. I envision an election act that future leaders that decide to run have to be sober and clean, to have a structure for the next leadership and not to be accountable to the people monthly, reporting monthly to the people, because the reality is I barely hear our reports. Hearing the 1907 Election Act or Surrender Act, that's the second time I've heard it in the last 4 years. So I challenge our leaders here today, if you get in, be accountable to the people, move and help, and stop fighting amongst one another. Don't fight one another no more. Empower each other, empower our young people. If you get in, and if I'm fortunate enough and blessed enough to get in and lead our nation, then I will do it. And I know I'm young, but I will listen to our people as I am going. And I know I'm learning along this journey, but I have great mentors and guidance along the way. I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I'm going to stick to my 5 minutes, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yes.
You said that you want to break the cycle of addiction. How is your plan to do that?
I think going forward, we have to spend a lot of time with our youth. I feel like you've got to start planting seeds of leadership in our youth and showing the right way to live. But then the second step is also to build. Shannon will speak to this, but also to build like a health soul healing, like similar to soul healing and wellness, but have those resources for those that are currently struggling with these addictions. You know, and also I feel like we have to analyze the methadone program to see if it's actually working and the success rate of the methadone program, right? So.
I was on the reserve when they were when I guess the almond tree had children going over to doing programs, but there was only a selected few children, not the whole reserve. Only a few children. What is that?
From almond tree.
They were going to almond tree and keep going on these trips.
Yeah.
Not everybody was.
I can't answer that. I don't take part. I'm a selected leader. I get to speak at these engagements. They bring me in to speak, and whoever the reserve sends or the leadership works with the partners in reserve, on reserve.
I just want you to be clear that all the youth was not given that opportunity.
Yes. Well, as former leaders, I advise you going forward to take more part in the youth activities, and then you have more information regarding those events.
I am a counselor, so I know a therapist. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. When you say you're going to prevent or work with addiction, I think you have because that's happening all over the world, not only on free reserve.
Yes,
and
it's
you
a
don't
huge.
have the programs available out there. Everybody's struggling. So, what is your solution?
What's my solution? Is to be available. My solution is to be available for my people and to be there. How?
Yes,
I live in the community.
So
I know.
but you can't look after all those people. Let me know
Yes,
that I can tell you
but
that.
we're gathered here together.
Hey, I
Yes.
applaud you for trying.
Yes. I'm only one man. My reach can only go so far. But together we can reach all of our people and bring them together. I am one man. Yes, I can only help so much, but together we can save our nation from opioids, drugs, alcohol. But we have to work together and not be divisive, okay? And believe in one each other, okay? Let's go. Any other questions? Questions? I'm not.
Good question. Important question.
Robin.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions? I'd love to. Any other ones? Any online?
No.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to my speech, and good luck to the next candidates, the chiefs, on your speech. Thank you.
Jay-Cee.
Okay, can we have some order here so Quentin can give his speech? You ready to go, Jason?
1 second. Move this up. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be back here to see all our members. Today I come here with mixed emotions. One is the excitement that there's going to be new leadership coming down the pipe. Second is I got news this morning. My son-in-law had overdosed, and that really hurts because that hurts my grandchildren. That hurts my grandchildren. That hurts my daughter, and there is really no need for that. But I've been sitting here listening to everybody speak about their plans, how they're going to do this, how they're going to do that. You know what? I want to talk about what we have accomplished. For one thing, we've never had housing in many, many years. Now we have 11 new houses. There's 13. And we've addressed the housing. We've addressed the housing. In 2018, we were told we couldn't get houses without a qualified audit. And I said, yes, we can. We'll figure it out. So we put together a budget. I've done some lobbying with ISC. We got 6 new houses. Beautiful houses. Beautiful homes. No more of those old cookie cutter houses. Now we look at the homes that we have placed on reserve. And this took a lot of work. But you know what? For once in our history, we're on time, on budget. People were moving in before the due dates. And I say it like beautiful homes. Another thing, 30 some years ago, my cousin had a dream of bringing a buffalo home. 32 years, asked different chiefs, different councillors, please bring the buffalo home. 3 years Chris tried, just couldn't get the traction. 6 months, last June I asked him, Chris, what are you going to do with the project? He says, well, I've got to give it up. I don't have the support, I can't get the support. So I said, would you mind if I took it over? 6 months later, we got buffalo. 40 head of buffalo. This fall, we'll get another 20 from Elk Island. And these are actually all wild buffalo. This is not commercial buffalo. We didn't have any support either from the reserve. But you know what? We partnered. We partnered with Parks Canada, the Nature Conservancy of Canada, Everest Steel and Regina, Mosaic Mining. You know what? We put it together in 6 months. I said, enough talking. Let's do it. Let's get it done. They're there. Now we have, 12 little calves. And that is such a powerful statement because the bison are the first step of healing. Whether you agree with me or not, every time we go into a ceremony, what's the first thing we cross? The buffalo salt. So with that, last year I entered into talks with ISC about funding a commercial project. We're looking at getting 750 head. We do the infrastructure this year. Next year, we start bringing those buffalo home. Another thing, we talk about water. Everybody hears about the water. They can't drink the water. The pumps are down. There's no water. Well, 4 years, I sat on a project management team. And come June 13th, we will start building a new water treatment plant because it is in place, it's designed, it's funded. We are going to have good drinking water. In 2016, I put out a platform of 4 things I wanted to accomplish while on council. One was jobs, one was a buffalo, one was housing, and this is the last one, which is a water treatment plant. We have accomplished this. And when I say we, I mean our technical people. There was no support from any place else. We had to go outside to get support. You had to build that support inside. And we talk about plans. We have a plan. It's out there. All you have to do is read it. And we are going to move ahead. You know, we've been stagnant for the last 100 years. Will be stagnant no more. We are going to move. I put together a team that have all worked, continue to work, that can respect the dollar and earn the dollar. You know, I kind of sat there and wondered why people didn't ask us, like, what's your success? What did you succeed in doing in your 4 years? I tell you, I have accomplished a lot. I don't like saying I or me, but sometimes that's just the way it is. You know, another word I can't handle is off reserve members. Could you just pass my drink, please? I cannot handle that term, and I never ever want to hear that term, because you are a band member no matter where you live. Off reserve, wherever, urban, we are all band members. We should all be treated alike. You know, when I hear people say, well, off reserve members don't get that, or we're not budgeted for them. You know what we do? We go out there and we create budgets for them. That's what our job is. That is my passion. I'll tell you, we had a director of operations 2 years ago. Swore at our band members, talked down to them. You know where I ended up? I ended up in the Human Rights Tribunal because I stood up for our people. I would not take it. I reported things to our lawyers. I took notes. Everything was done. You know what? No one would move to fire the guy. 5 meetings. Every meeting we started off with, I make a motion to fire Gerald Marco. I never got any support. But you know what? After 5 times, he got the message. He quit. And that was the best thing that ever happened to Keys in a long time. But I will not stand down and hear people come onto our homelands and cut up our people. That is something I will not accept. Going forward, we do have plans. We are working on the cows and plows. We've been given an offer, $79 million. Are we going to jump at that? I highly doubt it. I told our lawyer in Calgary 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I said, I've been campaigning based on $150 million. You're saying $79 million. Okay, do your job, start moving that amount higher. Move it higher, because we're not going to settle. But you know what? That's only the first offer. And I would like to just let you know, we will not jump at just any offer. Because at the end of the day, we have suffered. You look around us, poverty, drug addiction. Everything that could go wrong is wrong. We are going to wait just for the right time, for the right dollar amount. And this is actually strange, because we were negotiating on a 1909 land surrender, which is possibly, through the tribunal, you're capped at $150 million. If we continue with a strong negotiating team, we can up that up to $200 million, because there is no cap on it when you negotiate. So that is another one. We were working on that. We got a surprise 3 weeks ago. We got an offer from Canada for $79 million for the cows and plows. Is it a diversion? I'm not sure, but we will find that out soon enough. And out of this, all this money, I don't want to just give a payout. for people to spend, a day, 2 days, maybe a week, maybe a month. I want to give an opportunity where people can buy a home, start a business, expand a business. And you know what? The Buffalo have started all that. By how I mean that? By we have instilling pride back into our people. I see Cornelia, her family is so instrumental in looking after the bison. They put together the pastures, they work with them, they chase them, they get chased by them. But you know what? That's what you call community building. When people come together. Astru's another one. Marlene Brass, my daughter Desiree, they were all chasing buffalo, getting Rocky, his wife, getting their vehicles smashed up. But you know what? That didn't matter. What mattered is we came together as a community. And I'll tell you, I was standing in front of racing buffalo, but that is a rush. But all in all, guys, we are moving forward, and we are going to change Key Band image. We have started already. Check on Facebook, Google Key First Nation. You will not see negative stuff. You will see the buffalo. And with that, I ask each and every one of you to support me because I do have a plan and I will work that plan. As I've been working for the past 6 years. I never gave up on a community. I actually have a strong commitment in my heart and over my heart. But I'm not going to show you guys. With that, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. It's great to meet you guys.
If you get in for chief, the rumor is that they're going to bring that white woman back who acted like an Indian and spoke down on our people and wouldn't talk to them decently.
Actually, you know what?
What?
We have found one of our own as the director of operations. One of our own band members, because you know what? We have the education. Actually, Key is one of the highest educated bands in Canada, despite our small size. We are powerful, yet we don't know how to use that power. And I and my team will bring out that power. Well, no, it is a band member. She's very, she's been working in the finance sector for years and years, from Regina to Calgary. She's very highly educated. She's very policy driven. HR, very well experienced in HR.
She's not in there now then.
Because why? I cannot honestly answer that because I never hired this Chinese fellow that's there. Sorry about it. I should have never said that. This fellow, but you know what? Just a quick comment. Like, I don't get any communications. I haven't had communications from him for months. Housing, capital projects, But you know what? He's gone on a call. Let me assure you that. And we will have our band member working there, addressing everybody's issues and helping them along. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to build our community. Thank you.
No one. It's out. You can set it up.
2 minutes, smoke break. 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Can I say something?
5-minute break.
Yeah, 5-minute break.
Come together, and this is very nice to see. And I really appreciate that. There's been always no fighting, and this is how we should always be. Thank you, and I'll bring that to you. Vote for me tomorrow.
Hey, this is all good. we forgot to acknowledge the organizer here.
I get a little nervous when there's a camera. I've been out of action for a long time. You know what time I can speak in front of 400 when I was a fiction worker? When I was a fiction worker, I used to speak 400 or 500 people and tell my story. And tell it like it is, you know? Because when you tell your story, we know it's the best. Because we did it, we lived it, you know? When I tell my story, a lot of people don't believe it because they haven't seen the action. They haven't been where I've been. You know those streets down on the road there? I lived on those streets for many, many years. You guys talk addictions? Move down there. You'll see addictions. And I lived on there. I've been an addict for 22 years of my life. Been an alcoholic for 33 years of my life. You know? You talk about change. That's where change comes in. You go inside and drag out all the devils and the demons inside of you. Bring them to surface and face them head on. I took a program where it was called psychodrama, where we did role playing. Actually did the work, not sit around and talk. Where we did the anger work, where we did the crying, and where we did the fear work. I'm telling you, that's one program that I always like to bring to the reserve and put everybody through that. Then you see change. You know, you want to talk about change? Everybody's got to change. Not only the leaders. Everybody. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we had a forum on the reserve. They talked about change. And I agree with change. You know, if you want to change, stay out this goddamn thing here and quit cutting up people. You know, a week later, my name was on there. When we talked about change, everybody cutting me up. That's not change. You know? You want change? I'll show you change. You come with me for a month, and I'll teach you what addiction's all about, how to work it, how to work the anger out of you, how to work the fear out of you. These are really important because you run into a roadblock, fear will stop you in your tracks. How do you work with fear? You simply scream it out like a little kid doing a tantrum. After you scream it out, you'll get up and talk like what's nothing. You know, we have a bunch of angry people also. Well, we can talk about it all night, but still they're going to be there in the morning. But if we put some action to it, we do the fear work, the anger work, then you'll feel different. I have a big anger bag at home where you pound the shit out of this anger bag. You get the anger out of you. But there's a theory to that. You got to get to the root cause of things. You know, I wasn't born angry. I wasn't born with a rig in my hand. I wasn't born with a beer bottle in my hand. Someplace down the line, I learned. So we got to go back in time and clean up. And that's where these young people will have something to follow. You know?
I've been trying this for a long time. You know, I was an addiction worker on the reserve for 12 years. And I don't brag. I was one of the best workers on that reserve. Addiction worker. I think had things happening on that reserve. I become a leader. I'm glad I cleaned up before I become a leader. Because I'm a straight shooter. I've been a leader for a long time. And not once did I stick a nickel in my pocket or steal. I don't do that. I help people. You know, I make a good wage. Sometimes in a month, I give it half away. I don't complain about that. I'll never ever see it. But that's the way the ball bounces for me. I'll help anybody that needs help. You know? And some of us here still owe me. And I'm coming to collect if I don't get it. Oh, let's get it. There's a lot of things we can do. But we got to clean up first. Make it easier. Can't work with somebody that has grudges against you, cuts you up. Can't work like that. I've been having it rough the last couple of months. That's the way it's been in the office. It's supposed to be a team, but my team fell apart. And the fighting turned to be it. That's not teamwork. That's not teamwork at all. I got a team. I put a team together here. I'm hoping and praying that we stick together. We don't fall apart halfway in the turn. Or the bottom falls out, you know? But we need to, I always say we need to always share how we feel. You know, when I was a first become chief, I sat with my workers every Monday morning and had a circle check with them. Some people bitch and whine about it. It's not doing any good, you know. But some people took it serious. I know one person that I helped in that staff meeting. This person was like a mouse. You know, never said nothing, never did nothing. But man, give her a couple of these, but they'll let it swing around. I walked in one time, I heard somebody swearing, you know. I couldn't see this person. I could hear it. Oh, man. Every second word was up this. Here was that little mouse I was talking about. But after about a year of sharing stuff with them, she opened up like came right out. And today I listened to her to a different person. So when we sit down and really share from the heart, things will happen. Good things will happen. And we talk about this land thing. I've been sitting there for a long time. I didn't hear the walker yet. No. So we do hear it. You guys will hear it. From Hawaii. I'll be sitting over there. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'll take a few of you, but not all of you. No, I just asked you for support me one more time. getting too damn old for this business, you know. No, but on a serious note, ask us to support me. We'll go places if we work together. You know? One thing I promise you guys, I want to clean the office up. Because, you know, we travel all over, get to talk to people. And people tell me things, you know, how my workers are. It's kind of embarrassing, you know, when somebody tells you people are not answering the phones over there. Well, that goes for me too. They don't answer me. I'm the boss, but they don't answer me. You know? But we can change that, you know? We change it with a good heart. You know, I don't get after people. I just got after one here not so long ago. Blind. That white woman that was raising Cain in the office. Oh man, I didn't know she was doing that kind of work behind my back. You know, cutting up the people. Once I found out. But she turned around and sued me after. It was a bad move for her, but I'm not getting a nickel off me. I don't have nothing to give. She sued the band, you know. So if she wins, holy man, we're gonna lose a lot of money. But she's not gonna win me. We're gonna fight this together. I got my staff. I got other people with me. How she was, you know. Yeah. I don't know how much money she took out the back door. Well, I caught her, man. I might have joined her. No, like I said, I'm a straight shooter, man. I don't stand here and tell lies to you guys. I don't want to make any big promises to people. You know? What happens if I can't keep them? Holy man, then you got rid of it. That old bugger was bullshitting, what you saying. Yeah. You know, one thing that we really top up is we talk about education. We need to top that up big time. You know, because of everything going up, huh? The rent, the food, everything has to be topped up. Not only education, everything. And I focus on the young people like this one. They need our help, big time. And we need to role models them in a good way. We need to break the road for them so they'll have an easier time following us. That's our job as adults, as leaders, as elders, you know, to make trail for these people. And I'm game to do that. I'll be the first one to jump in the front line. You know? One time I was scared of myself. Not anymore. Once I worked all the evil demons out of me. Yeah. Don't run away.
My son's outside.
Oh. I thought you were going to the casino. You're leaving me behind. Don't stand here and answer any questions. Like I said, I don't want to tell you, you know, all my big plans. Just that I'm a straight shooter. Anything that needs to work on, we'll work on it together. You know? Everything was said here, you know, houses are coming in. That don't work. I got a bunch of teepees we can put up. We get hungry, we'll eat buffalo. Right? Solomon. We'll eat buffalo. You know, the payout was talked about here. It's up to the people what they want. It's not up to me. If it was up to me, you guys will shoot me. I don't want to give you guys $5. No, we'll sit together and we'll make a plan together. That's the easiest. Come might take us a little while before we come to an agreement, but that's the fairest way. You know? What else was I supposed to ask her? You guys got any questions? Yep.
I'm curious how, like, who decides who gets what portfolio?
Usually the DO and the chief will sit together and kind of watch, you know, what people are strong in, you know, what they're good at.
And then, like, how do you hold the councils and yourself accountable? Do you have a plan for that moving forward?
Do I have a plan to keep somebody in line? Yeah, big green stick. Well, no, you keep, like I said, you know, we'll sit down and make. Holy man, I don't know how to keep those guys in line. They're too damn old. You can't learn no dog new tricks, they say. So we'll sit together and, you know, work it out. There's no magic in that, you know. You can see if they're falling behind or falling off track. You help them, pull them back in. That's the way it should be done. Yeah. Hey, what are you guys doing? Come go through right here. There's a couple more guys running here. You want to speak? You want to speak? Come on.
Yeah, no, we all.
Okay, just before Bernie speaks, there was a question from the folks online. They want to know what you're going to do with the drug problem on the reserve.
I'm going to shoot the son bitch. I'm going to catch it. Well, you know something? It's easy. You know, the drug users or the drug. We've been working on this for a long time. We stopped with people that bought crystal meth. We barred them from the reserve. Kicked them off the reserve. The one that's really dangerous now is fentanyl. I see anybody selling fentanyl on the reserve, I'll go out there myself. I'll chase them off. Simple as that. It's a dangerous drug. They're all dangerous. Stick a needle in the arm, they never know what to do. I've been down that route for a long time.
I got a question for you, friends. If you're elected, what are you gonna do about the non-band members that are working in the band office right now?
I'm gonna kick them out.
You have a problem? Because I mean, those non-band members are taking up jobs that are band members. We can train them to take those positions on.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for a long time. It's time we moved and did the right thing here. You know?
We have a lot of band members that can do it.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes when you hire our own people, we'll go good for a while, you know? And then they'll start kind of swaying, you know? Start losing interest in work, I don't know. Missing work, and, you know. We'll give them a shot out, you know?
Well, I mean, that's what we're there for, right? To
That's
train
right.
our people. Let's train our own people to do the job.
I always say, bring me somebody that, you know, like I also talk about the DO. Bring me somebody that can handle it and we'll put them to work. Yeah.
Any more questions? All right, thank you.
All right. So I ask you guys to support me.
Just before we get the Right Honorable Fernie O'Suit to come speak, I got a house announcement that our lands officer, Roxanne, texted us just a minute ago. People that are going to be voting tomorrow need to have ID to vote. And this is not the key First Nation policy, it's the one feather policy, the electoral officers.
What kind of ID?
Government issued ID, your status card.
Is photocopy okay?
We'll have to find that out. We'll have to find that out.
Okay.
Big pardon?
2 pieces or one?
One piece. We got a status card, I'm sure that's gonna be sufficient. But if you have photocopy ID, bring it, and it's worth a try. All they can say is no. It's pretty fast. Okay, Fernie and Percy walked in late, but we're gonna give them an opportunity to speak. Fernie, you wanna come up?
Right on, bud. Yeah, good evening, people. My name is Fernie O'Suit, and I'm running for council. The thing I is concerned about is the land claim, that we have a good trust agreement. And but first of all, I should give an introduction myself. I'm an active oil field worker. I got 20 years in the pipeline industry as a laborer, and I got 13 years as certified inspector. And I'm still active in the oil fields. And I'm well aware of the land claim because I sat on the Pelly lands from day one, from June of 2000 to December of 2004. The only part I never had was the trust agreement because I was out there. But like my dad was a counselor for 21 years, my uncle Glenn was the chief for 10 years. And I heard them talk, the 1909 surrender. I know what surrendered the east end and the west end. It's 11,500 acres. And when they did the testimony for the land claim, my testimony is one of the ones that the lawyers used because they contacted me and they told me they're using it, because they said mine, like you liked my testimony, so they're using it. So I'm well aware in the land claim area. I want to see a real good trust agreement, not something like where you vote on one side, yes or no. I want a democratic vote, yes or no. That's what I want to see. I'm sick of that. Vote yes on this side, no on that side. That causes conflict. That causes division right there. You got to have the right vote. It's the main thing I want. And I'm active to get people working the job. Anybody that wants to make in oil fields anyway. I got 20 years, 33 years experience just in that oil fields. I have other experience in roofing and all that stuff. But anybody wants a job, you can call me. I'll do what I can to get you on. One band member in Regina called me and I directed him to the right area to go with. So I'm willing to help anybody to get work. And another thing I want is a band custom act. I don't like this First Nation election act. There's too many clauses in it. It's got to be like there's too many clauses right now in this act. We got to have something that's going to be solid, like where you spell out the terms and your conditions, or if you got to get tested for drugs or whatever. Well, I'm for that. And I haven't been clean. Probably 13 years. I haven't drank yet, and I haven't smoked in 5 years. So I'm too old for that now. Anyway. So basically, it's I'm not here to put anybody down or anything. I'm here because I want to see a good water plant. Sometimes that water comes out. I live on a reserve. And sometimes that water reminds me my dad had 30 head of cattle, and he farmed 700 acres. And every now and then that water plant, the water comes out there. It might be a cultist, because cows used to around the lakes, and but it happens every so often. So we have to upgrade that water plant somehow because the pipes are probably too old in it, and that has to be done. That's one thing is the water. Because people are going to get sick, eventually we keep on with that. So that's one of the priorities with the water plant upgrade. And basically to try to help everybody that I can, you can call me, I'll help you. I'm not hard to get a hold of. I will do it. So basically that's what I want to see is, I think it's not like a change, just to do better. It's what, you can't, You can't blame one another. You got to start like work together. Yeah. Whoever the chief is, you know, like, I'll work with him. That's what I want to do. Well, thank you.
I want to thank everybody that come and spoke here today. I've heard some really good ideas from all the candidates, and I wish you all well. And I just want to speak on as a community navigator, what's happened in the last year, 15 months that I've been there. Right? You know, we were able to produce a booklet on the history of the reserve, the plan on the reserve, what's going on, what's going to go on, and how we're going to do it. It's all in the booklet. And the program has only funded so many dollars, but you know the navigator, it's up to the navigator to go out there and get proposals done. We were able to get a proposal done that's going to put up the lights that Sid talked about. They're up, being installed as we speak. Next month you'll see Kim hitting home runs in the dark. She plays with the men. And you know, the other thing we got on the go is markers for the church. Eh? I know there was some concern that the traditional cemetery wasn't included, but we were told that the cemetery at the traditional burial grounds don't have markers. Eh? So that's the reason it wasn't included there. But for all the people that have loved ones at the old church, send your information in, because all the names are going into the inscribers for the stones. Eh? So that's coming, and hopefully by the end of fall we're going to have that. Eh? And the other thing we have on the go is a language program. A language program that's going to be headed by Mr. Michael Cashane. You know, it's one of the biggest assets we have when it comes to our language, eh? Because there are not too many people that speak the language on the reserve. And I think revitalization is important, you know, and I just ask you people to come out and support. You know, I heard a lot of people talk about we can't do this alone. We can't. You know, it takes a community to do this, and you know, like, this is a good start right here. This is a good start what we have here tonight. And I'm not sure what other forums had, but you know, this is a good turnout, and this is very positive. You know, we can all leave here taking something home with us. You know, because this is the people of the reserve. You know, there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of educated people. You know, and we got to utilize our own resources. And you know, vote for my brother, and that's what's going to continue to happen. Thank you. Okay, there's just a quick announcement. If you want to donate, you can bring it here. It's going to go to the